Good morning, people of the internet. Today is November 11th, and this is an updated hydroponic garden tour. Just wanted to show you everything that's going on here. Now, a lot of the pepper plants have produced flower buds, so that's what we're seeing here. This plant actually has the most buds of all the pepper plants, and I was unable to distinguish between the big gem peppers and the keystone peppers, so it's all basically a surprise to me. I'm assuming that this is a big gem pepper though. I've got some lettuce down here. This is a speckled lettuce that I got from, I believe, Johnny's Seeds, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I'll correct myself somewhere. I've got more lettuce here, which needs to be harvested. This was lettuce that I had in the AeroGarden Harvest Elite. They seem to be doing a little worse out of the Harvest Elite. It looks like they're starting to bolt, so I'm not too sure about that. I feel like once you have it in an AeroGarden or any type of hydroponic system, maybe keep it there because certain things last in Kratky jars versus other things that I'm noticing. Like, it's really easy to have basil in Kratky jars in certain herbs, as you'll see soon. This is one of my Tiny Tim tomato plants. It's doing pretty good. It already has some buds on there. They're very small though, you can barely see them. In the back I have, these are 2 cherry tomatoes from before. I had saved them and then put them in that foil container, but they weren't doing so well in that, so I decided to put them in Kratky jars, and they're doing a lot better. As you can see, they look a lot more healthy versus being in that foil container. But that was, a little experiment I wanted to do. And then right here, I've got other peppers. Again, I am gonna see, once they start blossoming, I'll figure out whether or not they're big gem peppers or keystone peppers because they look so similar. So as you can see too, I labeled these because I'm tracking the pH throughout all of these semi-hydroponic containers. So these are basil that I transplanted on the 29th. They're doing all right. And then these, I also decided to put them in Kratky jars, and they're doing great. This is a pepper plant that I decided to chop the head off. It's doing a lot better. It's growing side shoots, as you can see. The lettuce over here looks like it's bolting too. So I don't know, I feel like in the future I'm just going to stick with growing my lettuce in my hydroponic systems. Again, more peppers, but no flowers. Now this floor unit, I decided to get it off the floor because I wanted to get more airflow, and then also it's got a lot more light in this area. As you can see, these cherry tomatoes are like snaking up. And I already have some flower buds here. There are various buds on here, as you can see. They're very tiny. If you guys look on my Instagram account, I do post photos of the process there, but this plant's doing great. This originally started out in one of my hydroponic systems, and I decided to transfer it to this huge floor unit, and I'm glad that I did because it is, like I said, snaking up. I'm probably gonna have to get another one for those other 2 cherry tomato plants. This is another pepper plant that's got a couple flower blossoms on it. This one was actually in that styrofoam container or cooler, and I decided to actually transport it back to a circulating system because I felt like it needed it. And besides, that styrofoam cooler was sweating, so I ended up having to put a tarp underneath it, and it was just a hassle. So much better, cleaner. This I'm using as like a nursery, my rain point. So I've got various things in there that need to be transplanted, and I have a new system coming, so that's what I mean by transplanted. I'm just going to transplant it into the new system. But I've got jalapeno peppers, basil, parsley, various Tiny Tims that need to be moved, lettuce, and it looks like that's about it in there. But it is crowding, and that is my nursery. So down here, I did decide to start microgreens. So this is my salad mix microgreen. This is on day 8. And this is the broccoli. They say broccoli is the easiest to grow, and yeah, it was pretty easy. This is my beauty right now. This is the pepper plant that's actually growing things. So I've got 2 on here right now, and these are keystone peppers. And check that out. They are just so adorable. So I think I might end up moving this to the unit soon because I don't think that the peppers are gonna get very large being in this mason jar. So this is only a 32-ounce mason jar. And obviously the size of your fruit is going to be determined by the container. So got to move that soon. A little nervous about that. And then in here I've got cilantro, arugula. The one in the back's not doing very good, I think because of the crowding issue. And then in the Harvest Elite, I had my cilantro in jars, but I ended up moving it back in here because it did much better with the water circulating. And then that tiny Tim is doing great. There are various clusters in here. It's going to be so hard to show you. Maybe I can dedicate a video to finding all the clusters, but there's so many flower buds on that thing. It's insane. I've got more pepper plants. I still have not harvested my lettuce because I'm just fascinated by the growth. I've got some lettuce plants down there that look odd. They look like they've semi-bolted. I'm not too sure about that. And then I have my last remaining soil plant here. I'm just holding on to it for dear life. And then I've got various of those gourmet herbs from AeroGarden because the pods were expiring, so I decided to just use some. And so far the Thai basil and the dill are growing. And then lastly, what I did for the garden was I actually got another fan, an oscillating fan, just so that these plants can have access to winds, and it helps with pollination, even though most of these are self-pollinators. Hi, Astro. Yeah, that's everything in the garden. Hopefully you guys liked it, and I'll be seeing you in another garden update.